What's up, beautiful souls? How's it going? How you doing? You doing all right? We have the Sun of Mercury Kazini, and it is nasty here in East Tennessee. It started getting nasty in the skies last night. I knew we were going to have some stuff. But anywho, there's been a lot on my mind that I wanted to talk about. So let's dive into it, shall we? I want to talk about addictions. And I am an 8th house sun and moon. And I've had many addictions that I've had to overcome in my life. And I was introduced to a lot of things at a very young age. Okay? Very, very young age. And I want to dive into that because that played a huge role in my healing journey. So, my aunts, and I had two that were much older than me. One that was 4 years older than me, the other one older than my mama. So my aunt introduced me to the flower when I was 13. I was in the 8th grade. Okay? First time I ever consumed that. And that was kind of something that I was a regular partake in shortly after doing that for the first time. Okay? And then when I was 14, it was the summer between my 8th grade and my freshman year. We hadn't been out of school very long, maybe a week or two, if that. And I get a call from my mom. Hey, we've booked a trip to go to Cancun, so start getting your stuff ready. We're gonna go. Okay. So we left just days. Like when I say days later, it was like 2 to 3 days later we left. Like it was pretty fast. So we get there. I was 14. Well, we almost didn't get to go because when we got to Atlanta to board our flight, when we got to the gate, they were like, hey, you don't have permission to take her out of the country. Her name's different than the whole family. And you don't have signed permission to take her out of the country. And of course, they were like, well, what are we going to do? So they said, well, if you go to the police station in the airport, you have her dad call, they'll notarize the letter, and you can take her out of the country. Well, my mom calls my grandmother, Jackie. It's like, hey, we're at the airport. They won't let us take Brooke. Do you give permission for us to take Brooke out of the country? And he says, yeah. So my stepdad signs the permission slip pretending to be my dad, while my grandfather is on the other line pretending to be my dad. We get the notarized permission slip and we run to the gate to get out of the country. Okay? Crazy to think that they allowed that to happen, right? Anyway, so my dad had zero knowledge of them taking me out of the country. So we get there and my mom's like, hey, it's happy hour starting at like from 2 to 4, something like that. I don't know. It was early, okay? She says, why don't you leave the pool early and go get ready and then go hang out at the bar for happy hour. I was 14. I drank the entire time we were there. The entire time. And their thoughts and their words were, it's legal here, so you can do it. I drank when we went to dinner. I had pina coladas. I drank during happy hour at the bar of the hotel, because it was buy one get one free, and we had an all-inclusive deal anyway, so I could go down there and it was included in the room, all that stuff, right? So I drank the entire time we were there, and that was just the start of it, okay? And then fast forward to the fall of the same year, I hadn't even turned 15 yet. And we're out with my mom, her two friends, went to dinner, and they decide they want to go to a nightclub. Senior Frogs in Johnson City, to be exact. My ex-husband had just turned 18. He was there. I had a ton of cousins that were there. A lot of people that we worked with, because it was the place to go back then. And so my mom sends me in with Jean Guthrie and her ID and says if Brooke can get in with my ID, then I'll come in and we'll stay. So she sends me in. I get in. Guys come up, start buying me drinks. I'm like, what am I supposed to do? You know, they're buying me drinks. Am I supposed to, like, tell them no because I'm 14? Or, like, what am I supposed to do? And my mom says, well, you gotta drink it so they don't know that you're not 21. So my journey with alcohol started at a very young age, okay? Very young age. Very, very young age. And, you know, alcohol, flour, that was the only thing that I felt was okay to do until I was raped. And after my rape, because I had been drugged and raped in my sleep, I was terrified to go to bed. Like, the sun would go down and I would start having severe panic attacks. Like, I would drink coffee, I would take yellow jackets, whatever I could get my hands on, right? To keep from falling asleep. And one day, I said, I can't do this anymore. I can't. And was sitting there with some friends at our apartment. And I said, get me any drug that will keep me awake. I cannot sleep because if I go to sleep, I can't protect myself. Literally, I can't protect myself if I go to sleep. So that's when I started doing crystal meth and cocaine. I am part of the 2% that gets on that drug and is able to actually come off. And it was pretty easy for me because when my ex-husband and I rekindled the summer of 2003, he told me, I want you to move to California with me, but you're going to have to quit everything. And I said, okay, that's easy. I just quit. Moved to California, moved on base with him. We got married. The rest is history, right? Never looked back. It was good. We're golden. So, alcohol was the one that I struggled with the most. Out of everything, alcohol was the one that I struggled with the most. And it was also the one that I was introduced to at a very young age. And, you know, we do research about this. And this is where I have issues with the Bible too. I want to touch on that for a moment. I have issues with the Bible because there is this misconception that because Jesus turned water into wine, that alcohol is okay, and it's not. It's not. And this is also where I have an issue. Anybody that claims to be a holy person, a Christian, or whatever, and if you consume alcohol, don't talk to me, okay? Because you are no better than a drug addict, period. And that's the way I see it. And you're no better than me. If you drink, you are no better than me. You are consuming the devil's juice. And this is why I've said there are misconceptions and lies in the Bible to deceive God's people. And alcohol is one of them. You know, you got to think, King James put a lot of shit in the Bible that's not true to be able to control and manipulate his people. There's over 450 different translations of the Bible, and each one has a different meaning to all of it. So, there's that, right?